Welcome back to the podcast. Roll the intro.
Yeah, they call me a savage. How I'm putting in work. I hustle and grind, I put in the time, get what I deserve. Savage.
Yeah.
Question and answer.
Question and answer, bro.
Sweet. So we'll just get straight into it, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I just edit it real nicely for everyone so it's all
Nice and clean.
popped up. So what should we go? Tips for sciatica.
That's all you, bro.
Fuck, I haven't found anyone who's really got a good fix on it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
People have come to me with it, and I've always said it's best to just try everything because something that's worked for someone doesn't work for someone else. It's so like fucking.
Yeah.
It's a nerve going down the leg. So
Yep.
who knows what's happening, you know? And then some people self-diagnose as well.
Dr. Google's your best friend sometimes, eh?
Yeah, my best advice for that is just try everything possible. Stick to it for at least 12 weeks. And then if that's not working, then move on.
Yeah.
I
So
think,
sort of address everything as well, eh?
Yeah, because people will just do 1 week and it's like, no, it's not getting better. Let's go to the next thing. Yeah, give things a chance to
Run its path.
12 weeks is probably the minimum time to give any type of training system a go, I feel.
Cool. Smooth.
Sweet. Let's go to we'll go to one of your ones.
Yeah,
back
cool.
and forth. Things a back rower should have in his arsenal. Perfect.
Back rower. So, I learned this very late in my footy career when Rowan Smith and Brian Smith came over to the Roosters. But a couple of things I learnt real fast was, ball handling skills, being able to use, and, catch and pass a ball, all that sort of stuff. So ball handling, very important for a back rower to learn. The more skills that you have as a back rower when it comes to passing, the more chance you are of being able to play good footy. On the back of that is, learning how to kick, which is important too because you are around that halfback all the time and the halfback can get caught in the fifth tackle and you just want to have the option to be able to put it down onto the ground for your centre and your winger. And then at the same time, footy IQ, I think a lot of us just pass over this. Footy IQ is very important, so going to the video sessions with your halfbacks and all that sort of stuff and sort of learning how they speak and how they see the play because at the end of the day, you're actually defending a halfback from the other side. So the more that you can understand how your team plays, maybe the more you can understand how an opposition plays as well.
And what do you think the main differences are from when you sort of played to now?
Oh, just that, bro. In terms of skills, you can watch the game these days. And
It's like everyone's got ball skills now.
Everyone,
like
bro.
It's just a prerequisite to be a back rower.
a prop can play on the wing, a wing can play in the props. You know what I mean? So, in terms of footy IQ, like that's probably the biggest one. But then at the end of the day, like you have to have those skills to play NRL these days. And the more, I feel like at a younger age, if you can learn this stuff, then the faster the process of, becoming an elite sportsman can come.
Yeah, and I think if you have ball handling skills and then your run becomes more dangerous
It
because
does.
they have to worry about,
All those
an
options.
extra threat.
Yeah, bro. Like, my coach up in Redcliffe said this perfectly, but he's like, Chero, you are the most dangerous when you have the ball in two hands because you've got all these options. And I never thought about that until, the later years of my footy career, and those are the things that I wish I learned at a young age because at a young age, it was just grab the ball underneath the wing and just fucking cut it up. But, as you start getting older, you start using your noggin a little bit more.
Yep.
What about you, bro? What about for a centre?
Centre. So, the ability to read a defense from your goal line. And that sort of has got to do on the bit of the coaching side as well. Whatever you get taught, can you fit into that system what that coach wants to be taught in defense and how to run that. Speed, strength. If you're not going to be like the try-scoring centre, then a workload centre.
Yeah.
You're taking
Carting it up.
runs out of your end of the field, adding like an extra, like forward, high workload, getting over that
Advantage line.
15 hit-ups a game type thing,
sorry.
if you don't have that X factor, because you do have those centres that have that X factor, like those Crichtons where they can just break a game open.
Yeah, bro.
And if you're not that person, then try and be that workload safe centre on the other side. Okay, you don't always have to be the game breaker. But when it comes to it, you can draw and pass, and you can go over and take the easy ones, but you don't need to be that X factor all the time. Just make sure everything else is solid.
Yeah, mad. Easy.
Yep, done.
Cruise.
What stretch would you do for lower back, psoas, muscle?
Couch stretch, 90-90. And any away from stretching, a little bit more mobility side, activation, rotation of the hips, learning how the hips can move. Because, for me, if I'm ever tight through the hips, the knees start getting jacked up for myself. So that's more on the knee path. But as into to the psoas, that machine that you showed me a couple of episodes ago, diving into it, just fucking getting some trigger point going.
Yeah, starting at the hips, make sure everything's moving there properly, because if nothing's moving there, then, I find people are mostly real tight, sore in that lower back region. If the hips ain't moving, the lower back's going to suffer a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big thing of what we do, mobility program-wise. Fix the hips first and then see what's left. And it's usually gone most of the times, unless you have like super severe disc injuries. But even then, you can help yourself out by strengthening as well and getting everything moving right and strong.
Yep.
Done?
Done.
Favorite cake?
Favorite cake, carrot cake for me, bro.
Carrot? I got banana.
Banana. The old banana cake.
Best stretches exercise for strengthening the neck area?
Fuck, for me, it's cars. You know what I mean? Like, it's, once again, these words, stretches and, exercise, all that sort of stuff. Like, it's for me, it's learning how to rotate. And I feel like it's a very lost sort of thing in this fitness realm at the moment. I think everyone thinks you just got to get strong by adding weight to things. And I feel like it's learning how to move the joints properly first. So understanding that, the joint through the neck is a very big thing. You can learn how to move your way through it. Adding tension, nicely controlled, you can ultimately start freeing things up.
I'm always the same. Movement first, and then a bit of strength.
Yeah.
But if you got no movement, then you're always going to be lagging behind, I feel, in that area. Neck is not something I do too often. It's only I haven't done any neck strengthening stuff before. I know the wrestlers do cool like neck bridges and that, but I've never been into that. So it's sort of hard without any context. But I'd just be the neck cars works really well, I find, which is a rotational movement. Maybe I can pop up a little
that'd be cool.
Little video just to show you what it is, or link to the video in the description.
Yep.
Okay. Gym workout splits. Looks like from a youngster, I think.
You out for this one, bro?
Yeah, very contextual. I don't really believe in like the bro splits. I'm always goals first, reverse engineer the program towards that.
It's mad answer, bro.
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, I think the usual is do 1 legs a week, 2 legs maybe. I could do legs 4 times a week, just as long as you know how to program it properly. Where you're lacking is another thing.
Yep.
Can you do chins, dips, push-ups?
Yeah.
You can do those every day if you want with a good enough recovery. How much running are you doing a week? Takes into a factor. You don't want to go heavy.
Running or even conditioning. What are you doing away from strength work?
Even going hard on Nordics or something and then going into a big long, like you're asking for a hamstring injury. Like there's heaps of context to all this. But 2 upper, 2 lower for me at the moment. But it all depends on how these, if they're beginner, advanced, different movements. Yeah. I don't feel being held to like super specific gym workout splits is the best either.
Yeah, I'm like you, bro. Like I like to write down my goals and see where I'm heading. And these days I'm training every day, but I'm not training hard every day. It's only 30 minutes, so it's not really answering that question because I don't think anyone can be able to hold on to training 7 days a week like myself. But like what Troy said, I think you just got to write down what your goals are, see what your standards are, and then slowly work your way towards that. And most times you don't really need to train too much to do that. I feel like people are overtraining these days.
Yeah, that's probably the worst thing that people do is they do a lot of, I don't know, if you're in the gym at over an hour, you're still not like hitting some good numbers or in really, really good shape, then you're doing something wrong.
Yep.
So usually it's a programming issue or over just doing too many shit exercises.
Yeah.
Hour 20 in the gym.
It's a waste of time. Like, you can go into a gym, you can walk into any, like, do yourself a favor, walk into any gym and just watch everyone, and you'll be like, okay, I do not want to be doing what they want to be doing. Just, yeah, like Troy said, write down your goals and then work your way back from that.
Especially if you're young, man. If you can smash some chin-ups, some push-ups, and some
It's
dips,
pretty simple, bro.
fuck, you're stronger than like 99% of people that go to the gym and do all the machines, and
Yeah.
then you add in your barbells.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's it.
I've seen heaps of kids do like all these plyometric fucking bullshit, and they can't do a chin-up or a proper push-ups yet. So like, yeah, it looks cool sometimes on the gram, but make sure you're getting proper results as well.
Yeah.
What do we got next?
Let's go down to skills for a 10 to 14-year-old footy player. For me, I think it's hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, catch pass straight
Catch
on
pass.
the tip of my tongue, that one.
Yeah. Like even practicing the stuff that Troy puts out in the stuff with the juggling, just hand-eye coordination, understanding, your peripherals, making sure you know where a ball is, even though you're not looking at it. And even another one, bro, like, playing as many sports as you can. I feel like a lot of parents these days, and even a lot of kids, put too much pressure on themselves. I feel like, the kids that do really well are the ones that enjoy whatever sport they're playing. If they're dabbling over here in basketball, because basketball is really good for me. I played in high school. As soon as I played basketball, I started understanding, how to use one hand with a basketball, and that just transferred over into a footy field. So it's just a different skill from another sport, being able to, indirectly work into footy. So there's, those 2 points for me.
Yeah, as much sport as you can. OzTag, touch, basketball,
Enjoy
anything that involves a ball that you can catch and you pass and then make decisions under fatigue as well is going to be awesome for kids between that 10 to 14-year-old age range.
And just adds on to that, like, learning how to run, speed training. I think it's a real big thing. Me and you always mention this stuff, and I certainly wish that as a youngin that I spent less time in the swimming pool and more time on the field learning how to run properly. And I think a lot of kids could benefit from it from a younger age. My best mate, Charlie, his son's just fucking came second in Australia. And I can't help but watch that and be like, he's got the world at his feet. He can play whatever sport he wants. If he ever wants to play sport. Not only that, he's a very good runner at a very young age. And that skill there is something a lot of kids could definitely benefit from.
And if it's a skill, it can be learnt and taught. And I don't think some people think that they are just a natural, or they're not fast, or they're not. But you can reach a certain potential of your capability if you do a bit of training towards it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's super important to take note of as well, especially as your kid developing. Who knows what you're capable of with the right coach?
Yeah,
you can jump. A lot of people, if you have some good coaching behind you, especially sprint coaching. I don't do sprint coaching, but I've seen it starting to happen with the youngsters, and they're getting some pretty good form out there.
Yeah, and a lot of kids don't develop until a little bit later too, bro. Like, I'm not talking about physical development. I'm talking about mental development. I was a late bloomer myself. I was a spastic going into, shouldn't say that, but I was, very uncoordinated up until 18, and then all of a sudden it just clicked in my head. And once it clicked, everything, my body just, started matching up with my brain. So the things that I used to think I could be able to do, and I feel like a lot of parents could be sort of a little bit harsh on their kids too much. My kid needs to do this, my kid needs to be this. I'm like, maybe just kick back a little bit, give him some small skills to work on, juggling, taking him out to a speed coach once or twice a week and slowly building from there.
100%.
Sweet.
What about next?
Did you answer the how much time per day should I be doing work and mobility?
Is 15 minutes enough, that one? Yeah, so... 15 minutes enough. I've found it. Yeah. That's sort of what I try and work towards for my clients. That's sort of when people are so busy and they're doing their sport, they're doing their gym, 15 minutes seems to be the perfect amount of time. Okay, with a good program, you can target each body part Monday to Friday.
Yep.
And you're getting enough volume in to get results, and that's what you're after.
Yeah. And when you think about it, like 15 minutes ain't a big time, man. Ain't a large amount of time, bro. Like we spend more time doing a lot of different things, right?
Yeah.
And if you make it, You know, me and you spoke about this. I remember when you told me this for the first time. Make mobility like brushing your teeth, something that you just do without leaving your home. You know, you wouldn't leave your house without brushing your teeth because you have fucking shit breath, right? And you don't have a shit body. It's the same sort of concept that needs to be applied for something as small. Not as small, because once again, mobility is low-hanging fruit, but, you know, same system or same mentality is applied for mobility, making it a habit.
It's just so easy to do.
Fuck, I told you yesterday, bro. Like, I've been doing your program for the last 2 weeks now, and this is the best I've ever felt. Like, you know, sometimes you forget how good this shit is that you coached me, bro, because I remember doing this back in 2017. I was like, bro, this shit is fucking hard. But then you start, like, understanding where your head's at, and then you start understanding how your body should move. Bro, yesterday I was like, fuck, I feel like a gazelle, bro. This is an awesome feeling.
Yeah, I think the good thing about doing the 15 minutes Monday to Friday is just like that potentiation of your doing something that's specific to that joint, okay? So you're not just going to training each day. You're really focusing on that mobility part. Whereas if you're doing a squat, you get a little bit of mobility, but it's not purely focused, which is the main difference. I find some people come at me with, just keep squatting low and you'll improve your mobility. There's that argument, but I sort of argue against with it's not specific to what you're trying to do. You can do much more specific work to the joints if you just program it properly. Take your time. It's not that much effort to do. You can add it into your warm-up. That makes it time efficient and flows on from there.
Well, I've been using it as a warm-up for my walks, bro. Like, it's fucking the best. Like, I go into the garage and jump into it. I do not rest in between sets. I just boom, 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 get through the exercises. By the time I'm finished, I got a little bit of a sweat up, and then I head out into the walk, bro. I feel like $1 million. It's really cool, man. 15 to 20 minutes is all you need.
And I think I have a lot of athletes at the moment who have been doing the program. Whereas if you see someone's body, if you think about it, how much better is that athlete going to do if they've got 200-300 sessions under their belt for that season compared to someone who hasn't done anything? And I think that's the main difference, is that athlete injury-free. I've got a lot of evidence
you do, bro.
that it's been pretty good. I've had one or two that have carried injuries, but I feel like that's sort of, they have been super tight before, so we didn't really get to that. I think once you get over that 100-session mark with mobility,
you've got that endurance in you.
Yeah, you've got a bit more, protection from injury. Your body's
under the belt, mad.
Done a lot of sessions. 15 minutes, 100 sessions. It's not that much when you add it up. It's pretty easy.
Mean?
What else we got?
Would you ever open a gym?
Maybe if I didn't have to coach or manage it.
Yeah.
More as a business, then going directly into it. I feel like the scalability of that coach, which is good when you first become a trainer.
Yeah.
You always want to own your own gym, doesn't it? It's just the natural progression.
Yeah.
That was always my goal, to open a gym. And then what ended up happening, just COVID happened. Yeah, I was lucky. And then I had to go online because gyms just shut. And that's sort of been my path ever since, and had to learn and navigate through online training and learn social media, learn how to sell, learn how to market, learn how to build a program, how to edit. Just all those different skills. And there's positives and negatives to opening a gym as well.
I think from like learning this side, because we had the gym out in Campbelltown, and I think from learning this side of the game, it's easy to, I wouldn't say ridicule gyms or any sort of franchise or anything like that. It's not. I'm not saying it's like a bad thing, but once you understand this side of the fence, you're just like, fuck, you don't really need to open a gym because there's so many different things that you don't have to worry about, bro.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many personalities that you have to worry about when you're in a gym. There's so many different aspects. There's so many overheads. There's so many things that I never learnt over those 2 to 3 years. And, I'm blessed to be able to learn what I know now. And I don't think I'll ever go back to that sort of lifestyle. I love the fitness industry. It's the best industry to be in. I feel like a lot of the people that work in this industry are cut from a different cloth. But then at the same time, this online game is certainly something that I don't think I'll ever veer from. I feel like there's a lot of potential in there.
Yeah, there's positives and negatives to both, but
Just anything.
you don't know until you know with the thing with online as well. You're like, as soon as you earn your first $1, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, fuck. It's just like, whoa.
When you make a sale online, it's just like,
yeah, it's just a
good feeling.
Your brain opens up, man, and I feel like, like you still have to understand too. Like you don't know till you know. I had to wake up and do all those slogging hard mornings out of the gym, waking up at 4 a.m. just like anyone else. I'm not saying I'm anything different, but understanding that and then being able to like apply that to an online aspect has been like real cool for me. So yeah, online games are very different for me. I don't think I'll ever open a gym myself again. But I still see there's lots of potential for a gym, especially after having a guy like yourself teach me or drop me onto a guy like Hamosi who's done that gym launch stuff, and fuck, it's one of the best books I've ever read, bro. If anyone's wanting to think about opening a gym or needs a little bit of guidance, I certainly suggest reading it.
Beauty, finish there.
That's it, bro.
Done and dusted shop, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, they call me a savage. How I'm putting in work. I hustle and grind, I put in the time, get what I deserve. Savage.